What's up, my fellow freelancers? Anthem has finally dropped, and I've got 4 tips you really need to know if you just started the game. Let's get into it. Tip number 1 took me about 5 minutes of Googling before figuring out in order to switch weapons you have to hold down the square button if you're playing on PS4 or the X button if you're playing on Xbox. Simple, but one that definitely holds you back if you don't know it. Tip number 2 is a really useful tip if you're playing solo and just want to roam around the map in free play. After you've gathered and killed and collected whatever it was you were trying to do, you don't actually have to fly all the way back to Fort Tarsis. Luckily, you can just go to your map and hold the square button if you're on PS4 or the X button if you're on Xbox to quit free play and return to Fort Tarsis with all the items and XP you've earned, saving you a potential headache for having to fly for what could have been a considerable distance back. Tip number 3 is one that will have you confused early on if you don't know it. Very early in the game, you'll be tasked with collecting Ember of any rarity. What they don't make clear is exactly how you'll acquire it. Long story short, don't waste your time looking for a particular Ember plant. Rather, just loot every organic and mineral deposit you come across and you'll have no trouble finding a piece of Ember. For my last tip, I'll be telling you a really simple way to save on materials for crafting later in the game. It's simple. Don't craft anything until you've progressed much farther in the game. The reason is, you'll level up and receive much more powerful weapons with every mission while you're still a low level. So if you craft an item, chances are pretty high that you'll get a better item during the next mission, which will render the item you just crafted outdated and useless. So save those materials until later in the game. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, quit your jobs and play video games. If only.